This is not what you're ready for. The wealthiest corporation in the world, Blackrock, is purchasing and amassing absurd quantities of XRP. You don't want to miss this, I promise. They might purchase up to $8 trillion worth of XRP, according to rumors. According to experts, this might push the price of XRP to $943 and higher. Let's dissect it. This video will wow you. Let's get right to the point without further ado. Disclaimer. There has been a lot of conjecture, gossip, and audacious forecasts in the XRP community, and Blackrock is the name at the heart of it all. There is a lot of discussion around the possibility that the biggest asset manager in the world is secretly hoarding XRP. Others refer to it as inevitable. In any case, the discussion has gone viral. It all began when the CryptoXAI man pointed out chain data that revealed a significant change in Coinbase's XRP balances. Coinbase's apparent holdings fell by 69% between June and August 2025, from 780 million XRP to less than 200 million. At first glance, that may appear to be panic selling, but the pattern revealed otherwise. Coinbase aggregated from 52 wallets to just 10 to 16, each holding 16.5 million XRP Ripple coins in almost equal proportions rather than tokens overflowing the market. According to Emain, this was a technical move that is consistent with institutional clients transferring assets off exchange rather than selling. BlackRock enters the picture at this point. Through Coinbase Prime, which is completely integrated with BlackRock's Aladdin platform, Coinbase provides custody services for major institutions, enabling BlackRock clients to expose themselves to digital assets while maintaining the security of conventional infrastructure. Therefore, speculation is justified when XRP abruptly leaves public exchange wallets and enters institutional-style arrangements. BlackRock may be quietly amassing on social media, where rumors have evolved into audacious assertions. "You're still early, but not for long," Emain said, referring to BlackRock's covert XRP accumulation. Anta also made the even more shocking prediction that BlackRock will purchase $8 trillion worth of XRP by 2025. Regardless of whether Ant's statement is true or just tongue-in-cheek, it truly highlights the extent of the creativity that this rumor has unleashed within the XRP community. BlackRock oversees assets worth roughly $10 trillion. Therefore, it is nearly impossible to imagine investing a sizable amount in XRP. However, the very mention of it elicits tremendous enthusiasm. Of course, verifiable facts are important. Coinbase's wallets have been combined and their holdings of XRP have drastically decreased. The fact that BlackRock and Coinbase continue to have an active custodial arrangement is likewise provable. The question of whether BlackRock is truly purchasing XRP cannot be verified. Neither business has made any disclosures, filed any paperwork, or released an official statement. Although the restructure begs for institutional involvement, analysts caution that it is still speculative to attribute it to BlackRock specifically. Here's why this is important though. BlackRock has previously demonstrated that it is not scared of cryptocurrency. Its 2024 acceptance of the Bitcoin ETF was a turning point. Additionally, it demonstrates that cryptocurrency is very much on its radar by investigating Ethereum staking solutions. XRP's inclusion on the list would confirm the XRP Army's long-held conviction that Ripple's token will eventually play a significant role in international finance. Since the market, in all honesty, trades on tails rather than facts, even rumors can generate upward momentum. It hardly matters, in my opinion, if BlackRock is directly responsible for these actions. What matters is that following years of legal disputes with the SEC and uncertainty about its future, institutional interest has returned to XRP. The way the story around Ripple has changed is demonstrated by the fact that people are even considering the possibility that BlackRock owns trillions of XRP. Retail holders are not just early if a Manx and an Ant are correct. They are on the brink of a financial relocation that has never been seen before. Even if they are mistaken, the lesson is nonetheless impactful. Just the fact that XRP is once again being discussed by institutions is encouraging. Isn't that interesting? However, this is only the start, because what happens next if these on-chain indicators do indeed indicate BlackRock's involvement? This is where things start to get crazy, because several cryptocurrency gurus have already made audacious forecasts regarding the future of XRP. You want to hear this, I promise. Therefore, speculation, audacious forecasts, and the belief that something significant is constantly imminent are what the XRP community thrives on. That excitement is already reaching a new high as comments on social media suggest that XRP may be about to make a historic move. The XRP person hinted that next week, XRP will surprise everyone. Jack the Rippler, meantime, stoked anticipation by offering large sums of money to incoming XRP holders. The most dramatic of all, according to Bale, is that XRP will undoubtedly print the biggest green candle in cryptocurrency history. Even if these tweets seem crazy, they're becoming popular because they support a story that has been subtly developing. XRP might be prepared to take over the role that Ripple has been preparing for it, enabling international payments on a scale that is unprecedented in the history of the cryptocurrency industry. The so-called nuclear scenario that analyst Diana presented earlier this month is a good example. Building on the vision of Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse, Diana predicts that within the next 5 years, XRP may account for 14% of Swift's $1.5 quadrillion in yearly transaction flows. Diana drew figures that, to be honest, verge on science fiction. Approximately $210 trillion, or 14% of Swift's flows, is over 8 times the size of the US GDP. You know, even a small portion of that flowing through XRP's liquidity pools might propel the coin well above its peak in 2018. Her more extreme scenario, however, predicts an astounding price of $943 per coin, in which the circulating float of XRP decreases to 5.6 billion coins and the demand for liquidity simply blows up. With a 30,000% increase in value, XRP's market capitalization would reach over $56 trillion, surpassing both Bitcoin and gold as the most valuable asset globally. The obvious is quickly pointed out by skeptics. Such a price would necessitate a previously unheard of convergence of liquidity, regulation, and adoption. XRP is currently struggling to hold on to the $3 support level, which traders believe will serve as the starting point for its next breakout attempt. One thing is certain, regardless of whether XRP takes years to reach its full potential or, as the XRP person forecast, shocks the world next week, the token isn't becoming obsolete. Conversely, its narrative is growing more expansive, audacious, and interconnected with the future of global banking than ever before. Let's now take a closer look at Ripple's partners. You haven't yet seen the entire scope of this, but we already know it's really important. I promise that you will be astounded to learn who is behind Ripple. Therefore, the story of XRP's possible rise goes beyond bold predictions or on-chain speculation. It is becoming more and more connected to actual adoption, and nowhere is that more evident than in South Korea. Following its collaboration with Ripple earlier this year, BDX, a significant Korean cryptocurrency custodian, has announced the expansion of institutional custody support for XRP. This is not merely a small change. By allowing regulated institutions to join XRP's ecosystem, it represents a major step in closing the gap between digital assets and traditional finance. BDX noted that the introduction makes it possible for organizations to use Ripple Custody, the company's enterprise-grade service, to safely store and manage XRP. Top Korean exchanges like Upbit, Coin1, and Corebit are also integrated, the release stressed, enabling institutional clients to deploy XRP across the top platforms in the nation in a fully compliant manner. According to BDX, we are excited to provide our institutional clients with custody support for XRP, one of the most well-known digital assets in Korea. This launch demonstrates our dedication to the Korean market and fortifies our long-standing collaboration with Ripple. Why is the price of XRP affected by this? Global acceptance generates genuine demand for the token, particularly in a tech-savvy and cryptocurrency-friendly region like South Korea. A Hana Institute of Finance analysis states that around 1 in 4 South Koreans between the ages of 20 and 50 possess digital